Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. We're back at it. A win for the first time this year. Salute to the Knicks. And the Knicks got it done tonight. 112-98 at MSG. A get-right game as Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby dominated in this one. And the Knicks dominated the Raptors late in the second half. Went on a 9-0 run in the third quarter. They out-rebounded, out-hustled, and outworked the Raptors, and just too much talent, right? So a get-right game as the Knicks go back 25-13 on the season. Let's give out these grades tonight. Shout you out in the chat. Salute Knicks family. Hope everyone's doing well. And we're going to get ready and talk about the Oklahoma game coming up on Friday, as the Knicks have control of the season series, win the season series over the Raptors now, with tonight's big victory in this one, and much needed. And great to see Karl-Anthony Towns return. And obviously the Knicks are a different team, man. I said it last show. Emotions were flowing post-game as the Knicks lost 3 in a row. But, you know, I said Karl-Anthony Towns, I really feel like he's the MVP of this team, right? The way he scores the basketball, there's just no matchup that, you know, the other team can take away when he's out there. He's dominant with the 3 ball tonight, 3 of 3 from distance, 27 points, plus 25 as well. And OG Anunoby finished with 27 points on efficiency, 4 of 6 as well, fam, as our 3-point shot has returned. OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns, man, led the way today as Cat picked up a double-double as well. Him and OG, they're going to get the game balls tonight, fam. A-plus performances, statements, and they were cutting well, passing. There was some turnovers today as well, which the Knicks got to clean up, but they did force the Raptors into a lot of turnovers as well. So credit to the New York Knicks defense in this one. It was much better. And obviously later tonight, we're going to talk about the big game, Cleveland upsetting or getting the big win over Oklahoma as well. So they're going to come out ready against us after their 15-game win streak has been snapped, right? Now, as the Cavaliers continue their winning ways as well. I can't wait, right, to face them, fam. But today, the New York Knicks got right, and the ball movement was excellent. But obviously, you know, losing 3 in a row, right, you don't want to play around. You know, you want to come out emphatically, you know, with good energy, and the Knicks did that. Right, they had an early lead. There was some sloppy turnovers, but yeah, the Raptors just don't defend at a very good level. Quickly return to the Garden. RJ Barrett, of course, they had their moments, but the Raptors were quite sloppy, right, in this one. And you got to give the Knicks defense a lot of credit. Again, like I said, Cat returned and was efficient, but Deuce McBride still remains out day to day. I know there's a lot of people concerned over, you know, the long-term future of Deuce McBride and the injury potentially being, you know, worse than it sounds. But everything we're hearing, and there's been a lot of noise out there, but Deuce McBride's just day to day. So it ain't, you know, it ain't anything major from what we've been told. And he should return, I think, for the Oklahoma game, fam. I think they're probably keeping him out for like maybe an extra game just to get ready for that big game, fam, on Friday night Knicks, as the Knicks will opt for revenge against Oklahoma. Salute Buzzer Beater, salute Michael Drake and Replay Squad in the chat buzzing. Good to get the win and get back right, fam. But yeah, big game coming up on Friday. But Cat, you know, he was hobbling early, right? There was some concerns over, did we bring him back too early? But, you know, I think he shook it off. You know, Cat's been a warrior this season. You know, he's been definitely mixing it up with physicalness and physicality and his play. You know, he doesn't shy away from contact as well. So I think Cat's killed a lot of narratives around his game, you know, in Minnesota. I mean, there's been a lot of false narratives. I mean, the guy just plays hard. You know, I haven't seen anything otherwise. There's been, you know, some ill-advised shots and ill-advised fouls and some sloppiness, but Cat just plays so hard when he's out there as well. Another monster night rebounding with 13 bounds as well, fam. 3 steals as well, so salute to him. 2 blocks, 27 points, just an all-NBA, all-star performance from Karl-Anthony Towns. So salute, let's get him in to the all-star game. His voting's been going well so far as well, but him and Brunson have to be in that All-Star game. And I think they should be first, second team All-NBA at minimum, fam. He's having a phenomenal year. But yeah, 9 of 14, man. We really, really missed that against Orlando, man, where we didn't crack 100 points in this one. Big mention to Josh Hart as well. You know, his game returned tonight as well. He gets the A+ as well. Just shy of a triple-double. Again, 3 assists shy, but finished with the double-double as well. His ball handling was key. Obviously, you know, it does give Brunson a big rest when Hart brings the ball up the court. His facilitation, playmaking is excellent. But Hart was, you know, hitting the threes, hitting the shots today. He didn't hesitate when he was when his number was called, fam. Hart was also 9 of 14, too, the same as Cat. 2 of 5 from distance, gave us 11 rebounds, including 6 offensive, man. The Raptors were just struggling to get a body on Hart, crashing that glass. And 1 steal, 7 assists. Lion Hart finished with 21 points on a +19 as well. So yeah, another day, another phenomenal performance from Josh Hart. Good to bounce back as well. And yeah, you know, definitely tired legs was the narrative after the last 3 losses. But obviously you had to take into consideration, to make things look worse, it was 3 games in 4 nights as well. So I noticed, you know, they had a lot more legs tonight. Their energy was there as well. The bounce was back too, fam. So yeah, there was some strong reactions to the 3 losses in a row. They were frustrating, more so the last 2. But, you know, clearly 3 games in 4 nights did have a massive effect on this ball club during those losses as well. And obviously Cat being out in the last two as well. Completely different team. The ceiling is so much higher with Cat out there, and the floor spacing too, fam. As the Knicks finished with 24 assists, 9 steals as a team, and we absolutely murdered them on the glass, fam. As I just pull up the team stats right now, and we're going to get into each grade and shout you guys out as well. How are you feeling? David M says, bounce back win, CT. Happy we're back on track and ready to stomp OKC. I love it, man. I love the attitude. Yeah, you know, the quickest way to forget about those bad losses is just to get right and put a beat down on another inferior opponent. Great stat courtesy of MSG for you as well. The New York Knicks are 10-3 after losing a game. After a loss, the Knicks are 10-3. So we've got our bounce back game on point. Hopefully we don't suffer back-to-back losses for the rest of the season. Fam, with that record, 10-3. Can we get a thumbs up for that, guys? Salute to Replay Squad and salute to the chat buzzing right now. Smash that like button. The Knicks back on track. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Great to have you with us. And I think, yeah, the Knicks defense can be the catalyst this season. You know, offensively, we know the ceiling. But I think defensively, we're kind of still finding our feet. You know, it's up and it's down. We're very reliant on, obviously, the 5 spot and the perimeter wings, you know. I thought Brunson was pretty good tonight defensively as well, holding his man, containing him at least. You know, I think it starts at the point of attack, guys, you know. You stop dribble penetration, you help your other brothers out because they don't have to scramble, you know, and then rotate. You know, just stay in front of your man, like Clyde says, man. Move the feet, and we'll be okay. But 56-36 in the rebounding, man. Jakob Poeltl, Kelly Olynyk, they got bludgeoned as well. Scotty Barnes as well, lacking some size. Good to see Bruce Brown back. Bruce Brown's been out for a minute. He's been back with the Raptors. I think he's a strong trade candidate. He wasn't very impressive tonight. Neither was Quickly or RJ specifically, but you know, they've got some things to figure out, the Raptors. You know, they are second to last in the East. They've been, you know, decimated with injuries, definitely. But I think their coach is going to be under a lot of pressure if they don't, you know, start to get right with these guys healthy. Fam. David Buzzerbeater, D Grant, Michael Drake, buzzing. Great to see you guys. Yeah, some stubbornness at the end, D Grant, with Tibbs. I feel you on that. I think Tibbs should have emptied the bench a lot earlier. It's the case of another day, another situation where, you know, Tibbs is playing with fire. You know, that's all I'll say. You know, you do play with fire, you can get burned. and thankfully we didn't, get any late injuries. But it's all about these minutes just adding up. But we're going to talk about the bench because Landry Shamet was excellent today. Landry Shamet gave us the best minutes, and he got 20 tonight as well. So Tibbs liked what he saw from Landry tonight as well. But yeah, the three top Knicks, Josh Hart, and the two game balls go to Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby. Great to see OG Anunoby, his shot return as well, drilling those threes. I mean, I like OG shot selection. I mean, he just seems to take the right shot. He's open. If the guy closes out hard, he'll make the great basketball play. He'll drive, he'll kick, or he'll finish strong with the basket. For Bridges, I've given him a C+ tonight because, man, he couldn't really buy a bucket. But there's some times when I don't like Mikal Bridges' shot selection. A couple of those transition threes, they look funky. No lift. He rushes it. Sometimes he doesn't get any elevation and just tries to flick that wrist. You guys probably know what I mean. Hopefully you do. But yeah, Bridges' shot selection. I think he could take a leaf out of OG's book, fam, with that. And I do think that's going to help his numbers, fam, his efficiency numbers as well. Salute Real King. Great to see you. Hope you're doing great. Michael Drake says great to see IQ as well. Yeah, great to see those boys healthy. I know RJ's had a pretty solid season as well. Give him a shout out. RJ Barrett, back home. They've got some young pieces. The Raptors, they've got to take a step forward and learn to be consistent. Scotty Barnes has to lead the way out there. But yeah, Huck Porty didn't get any minutes as well. I was disappointed, but great to see Jake Toppin, Tyler Colette get some burn late as well, as the Knicks got back right as well. It was a complete performance. Starters, for the most part, were really good, and the bench tonight were really good as well. And perfect heading into what is probably, one of the biggest games of the season coming up, man. NBA moved the game to NBA TV now. So we'll get to enjoy the game. Obviously, if you don't have MSG at the moment, or you're dealing with the concerns with Optimum right now, I know there's some frustrations with the blackout. But we all got to see our New York Knicks, man, hopefully dominate Oklahoma, man. They've suffered defeat now for the first time in 15 games, man. And we need to give them another L as they come into MSG, fam. Hart's going to be fired up to go up against Hartenstein. We're going to be fired up to get revenge back as well, fam, too. Later tonight, we'll talk about some updates, courtesy of Ian Begley via his latest show, The Putback. They discussed some teams expressing interest in Jericho Sims around the NBA as well. So what could the future hold for potential target Jericho Sims around the league, fam, as well, as one of the only Knicks trade assets, right, that I think is realistic. Sincere's in the building. Michael says Shamet looked good, CT. Yeah, let's give Shamet his flowers, because 4 of 8, typically his energy's always been pretty good, but today he was efficient. Good to see the shots fall. He took good shots. Obviously 4 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 though, so that he's got to get that 3-point stroke. But he did put the ball on the deck, made some great plays, and got to his spot on the elbow with that midi range as well. Finished with 8 points. Finished with 4 fouls though, so that does show that he's active. He's defending hard, being physical. 1 assist and 2 rebounds as well. So not setting the world on fire, but obviously we'll take it right now. Our bench is slim without Deuce McBride right now. And look, Cameron Payne, not a great game from Cam Payne. Tyler Colette got in there late. Hopefully this is the start of something where Colette can get an opportunity, because you want to see the veteran get first dibs, but if they're not performing, you definitely want to look over to the next guy. And I think, in fairness, you got to give him a shot. You got to give him a shot. It's young in the season still. Colette could just grab that chance and run with it. I mean, the ball flows beautifully when TKO is out there. He's unselfish. He has a great feel for the game. He's probably the best facilitator on this team. And that's no hyperbole, because he's a rookie, but He's known for that. That's his game. Making plays. One of the best pass first point guards coming out of the college system, and he's shown it so far in the pros as well. He's got to get a chance sooner rather than later, fam. We had Pacome Dadier play with the G League tonight. Haven't looked at the numbers, but he did hit a few threes, so he's working on his game in the G League. Johnny says even though Bridge had an off night, his plus minus is still up there. Definitely you can't fault Bridges' effort, Ever since that, that tipping point when, things were tough for Bridges and the shot and the controversy, his effort has definitely picked up. And it's just been a matter of, for me, shot selection. But his defense has really come together, in terms of it's more consistent. He does still get beat. He does still have some off nights, but his cutting game was beautiful today. I'll give Bridges that. On my notes, the amount of times that Hart found the bridge man cutting was great as well. Same with OG tonight as well. Now for the Cap, he gets a B+. Now, he had his moments. The captain tonight finished 5 of 13, 1 of 4 from distance, 2 of 4 from the free throw. 6 rebounds was good. I like that. The Cap was rebounding tonight, and the Knicks won the rebounding by 20. So it was a complete team effort. 7 assists as well from Brunson, 13 points and a plus 20 as well. So he chipped in. Minutes police tonight, guys. 34 minutes from JB. Not too bad. 35 from Bridges. 34 for Cat. 38 for Hart. 37 for OG. So, look, I mentioned it before, but yeah, we'll talk about Tibbs' grade. Tibbs did win a challenge tonight. He won 2 challenge calls, actually. He did call timeouts, had the team ready. But yeah, it's just the decisions, the decision making from Tibbs that I don't like at times. To play Brunson in the entire first quarter, he prolongs those stretches where guys do get exhausted. Shamit's shown that he can, come in and give the team a lift. Let's see him thrown in there with 4 other starters. Remember, you don't have to throw the whole bench out there. I think when you want to ease guys' minutes, there's other ways you can do it. Don't play guys for the entire quarters. Also, sprinkle a couple of bench guys in with 3 other starters, or 1 bench guy with 4 starters. And that's a way that you can sort of circumvent, getting guys some extra minutes, some less minutes, extra rest out there as well. KA says OG A+ for me, Cat A+ as well. Salute, great to see you. David says happy to see OG find his shot. And Buzzer says we kept Raptors under 100. 98. Salute to Buzzer, great point. We are something like 80% win, 800% win percentage, man, if we hold teams below 100 as well. So yeah, defense fueling our offense, fam. I tell you what, we could have used that against Orlando, Sometimes those games where we just don't have it going, and it's understandable, it happens, but your defense has to fuel your offense on those nights, The Knicks broke out of a 3-point shooting slump tonight. Obviously back at the MSG rims, but the defense can help our offense so much, fam, as well. Shout out to Precious Achua. He was active tonight. Got a block. He was a deterrent as well. He gave good energy as well. His energy was way up compared to the last night as well. So, yeah, everyone chipped in tonight. And let's see it against a better team now, fam. Let's get on another streak, right? That's how you start, building on this and, extending our lead. 25 and 13 on the season. We do have a nice gap between us and Orlando. So let's get our first major win of the season against a really, really good team. I think Cleveland's shown how vulnerable Oklahoma is, fam. Let's look to pour it on. Troy, salute. Great to see you. Buzzer says, I heard the Knicks may not keep Cam. I haven't heard specifically, but I can understand that, he's on a veteran minimum contract, and I think if the Knicks could make an upgrade, I think they would look into that. There's talk around Sexton. There's talk around Jordan Clarkson. You know, there's going to be plenty of names out there when it comes to, you know, players available that can do a job. We've got a great chart for you again here, fam, courtesy of B-Ball Index on X. So shout out to them, right? Basically, this chart is about gravity, right? The top players in the league, we all know they draw gravity, fam. Look at Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, but look at our guys. So what this is basically is vertically is the player's overall gravity, and horizontal is your teammates' overall gravity. Fam, we've got JB here, for those that can see, JB right in the middle, right, above the pack, for his personal gravity on the vertical side, and then obviously horizontal as well, his teammates, you know, offer great gravity as well. We've got Karl Anthony Towns here on the lower right as well, right next to Giannis as well. So he's higher above the pack in terms of personal gravity and teammate overall gravity as well. So that is some elite company. You got Dame, Steph, Brunson, Harden, and on the higher side of the teammate gravity as well, you got Giannis and Kat together as well. So look, we're a two-headed snake, fam. With all due respect to OG, Mikal, and Josh Hart, right? If we're to win a championship, those two guys, man, they're going to lead us to the promised land. I feel like they're a two-headed snake, and obviously the ball is going to be in their hands, fam, when it's money time as well. So that's that chart. Now, obviously, Cleveland, you talk about one-headed snake, Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, he's stepped his game up as well. But I do feel like Kat is our MVP, you know. What's your opinion on that, fam? With all respect to Brunson, right, it's a two-headed snake for me, but I think Kat is this team's MVP. For this reason, Brunson has to work a lot harder for his shot, fam. We all know how talented Brunson is, isolation, distributing, getting downhill. He's a bucket. But there's levels to this, and I really think Karl Anthony Towns, man, he's so underappreciated still because his size, he's the same bucket getter that Brunson is, but his size is just dominant in terms of, you know, it takes a whole lot more to stop him, right? He could get to the rim anytime he wants. He can draw fouls as well. He shoots the three just as well, if not better than Brunson, and he can distribute as well. So, yeah, I do feel like so far Kat has been our MVP of the season, right? He missed a game or two, and we show it, you know. The 2 games that he's missed, we've lost, and he gets back. And we look like the same old well-oiled machine when he gets back. Dermot says, nice win. Got to get the bench sorted out. Yeah, that's the next order of business, fam. No doubt about it. You guys are buzzing. The best chat in the biz. Troy says, seems to me Kat was the best player tonight. Amazing what a player can do with a little rest. Yeah, great point, man. Yeah, 3 games and 4 nights. Kat was still looked a little hobbled, but I'm impressed with his sort of motor and his energy, you know. You see, the body can do one thing, but the mind has that will, you know, and Kat's will to win, I think, has been misguided in Minnesota. You know, he's really showing me something. Bam, he's really showing me something. Now, I want him to go out there and body Isaiah Hartenstein in the next game. Bam. Shady87 says, Tibbs need to play the younger guys. Our bench can't continue to give us 12, 14 points. Tibbs going too far. I think Leon's, you know, knows the task at hand. And I do think, yeah, that candidates like Campaign and Jericho Sims is obviously out of the rotation now. Those spots are going to get upgraded, I feel. That's just how I feel. Leon Rose is always aggressive, you know, at the trade deadline. And so when it comes to, you know, identifying a need, he's always gone out there and done it, man. D Rose. Then he went out and got Cam Reddish. Then he got Josh Hart. Then he got Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. And then he went and got OG as well, man. he's basically the king of the mid-season trade, if you ask me, and he's been really consistent doing that as well. Mitch sighting soon, hopefully, Michael. Mitchell Robinson really attacking that rehab as well. Susan, great to see you. We're all buzzing. The Knicks get right, and hopefully we can get another streak happening, man. We've got the Raptors. We've got OKC after now, and then Milwaukee, Detroit, who are now at 500. Man, we're going to look around the league in a minute as well. We'll get the reactions from the locker room as well, as we're all buzzing. Josh Hart almost gets another triple-double as well. And we're going to highlight the grade from Tibbs tonight because we've got a stat that's just popped up as well. Salute to Kat for 1,400 career points. Also, salute to our coach, Tom Thibodeau. Nice accolade, 200 wins as a Knicks head coach as well, fam. Some strong opinions on Tibbs. Definitely, you open yourself up for criticism when Tibbs has made some decisions, and obviously we'll wait and see what happens in the postseason. It's a big season for the New York Knicks, man, and I think Leon Rose and him have to get on the same page, but the Knicks are doing some good work developing some young players, Kolek's been developing, playing well in the G League. I like that decision to get these guys minutes in the G League. But obviously, some of these guys deserve real minutes, especially a guy like a Huck Porty and I think a Dardier. Size, he's got more length than Landry Shamet. What are your thoughts towards Cameron Payne, fam? It is a situation where Cameron Payne's been kind of mediocre for the season. But there's been moments, he's been up and he's been down. Where Steph Bondy reporting it was apparently a fight in the crowd tonight, fam. Looks like there was some video surfacing. It's unfortunate, but yeah, you don't see that very often, man. Those guys are going to get the boot. Tibbs says, I thought we came out with a real spirit of togetherness. Good things come from that. Said after the Knicks snapped their 3-game losing streak as well. Thibodeau said games like Monday's low-energy loss happens at times in the season, but he liked how the group responded tonight. So he was also asked about Karl Anthony Towns not getting a fair whistle. We've got the video to come up on that from SNY. Well, here's from Alan Hahn and Kat as well. But yeah, Tibbs liking the energy coming out. OG Anunoby have won 4 straight. The Knicks have won 4 straight when OG Anunoby has 25 plus points. So, his contribution is really, really key offensively as well. We're seeing when Brunson has a down night, we need other guys to step up. Johnny says, is Mitch back before the trade deadline? I think he will be. I really think he's due back late January, early Feb, right before the trade deadline, fam. But I do think that the Knicks are smart not to rush him back. There's no need, there's no point, to rush him back. So we'll get the audio from Kat popping. Stanley says, why didn't we see Huck Porty and Dardier tonight? Yeah, so Dardier was with the G League. I do know that. So I don't think he got recalled. So he was playing with the G League earlier today. They decided not to recall him. I think they felt like they had enough bodies. But Huck Porty, I can't answer that, unfortunately. I think they do want to showcase Jericho Sims a bit, if I'm making a guess. Stanley, as reported by Ian Begley in his latest show, The Putback, there's been some teams inquire about the availability of Jericho Sims. So I think the Knicks are holding discussions, fielding interest, fielding some calls on that as well. What do you guys think realistically? I think Sims could be a part of a larger trade. His salary is very low. You can't really do a big trade with him unless he's part of like a bigger package, fam. So yeah, I'm going to get the audio up right now. from the Cat interview. Let's just hear what Cat has to say.
Easy some nights?
I work really hard on my game, so when you call easy, it's a lot of hours of work I put in.
Speaking of guys who put in hours, Patrick Ewing sitting baseline, watching you work tonight. You guys make eye contact a couple of times. What's that mean to you to perform in front of him?
I mean, that's the legend. That's the man who built Mecca. So for me to grow up and watch him play, and for him to now watch me play in the Mecca is a humbling experience.
All right, thanks very much, Cat. How important?
Can you rephrase that? Let me see if I understand that. See, yeah, like because usually he's like attacking the rim in a straight line drive, and there's force, and he's going off 2 feet, and he's getting hit. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, I would agree.
So that was Tibbs, that was Cat talking post-game, fam. The Knicks look like they're feeling good. David says, yeah, I think you're right, showcasing Sims for a trade. I think it's also that, but also I think Sims is still ahead of Hukpority in the pecking order in the eyes of Tibbs as well. That's one of the decisions I disagree with. I think as a professional, Sims deserved his opportunities, and you get that. If you don't take those opportunities, I feel like it's malpractice to overlook the next guy. We're all in a business where you deserve a shot, but if you don't take that shot, I feel like it's the next guy up. If you continue to reward someone that's up and down, I think that sets a bad precedent. Fam, it sets a bad precedent. There's a lot of people tweet out, what does Hukpority have to do to get a shot? And the same could be said for Kolek. The same could be said for a lot of other guys as well. I mean, Jake Toppin doesn't get an opportunity. He's had a few great games in Westchester as well. He's a wing. He's got big size. A lot of fans have been asking about Jake Toppin as well. Matt Ryan got an opportunity tonight where I don't really feel like Matt Ryan has deserved it, to be honest with you. That's just my personal opinion. Matt Ryan's a shooter and he doesn't play any defense. I feel like our first round draft pick is a guy we should be developing and giving him those scarce minutes. Even you want to make these guys hungry. You want to give them a platform to grow with your franchise. You use the first round draft pick on him. There's no reason why you'll be given a journeyman like Matt Ryan those last 3 minutes instead of Pacome Dardier. But that's just my opinion. I really feel like maybe the Knicks, maybe they're showcasing Matt Ryan. But yeah, I disagree with it. Susan says, don't know why Tibbs loves Sims so much. I've spoken on and given Sims his flowers in terms of some of the things he does well. It's just in the modern game, he's not well rounded enough, and I feel like in this game, you need to have some offense as well, even Mitchell Robinson has good hands, has a putback, he's a lob threat. And just a bigger body down low. But with Sims, he'll grab a rebound and then he won't be able to, do anything with it tonight. You heard some groans again from MSG, but what he does do well, he sets good screens and, he gives good energy, tips the ball back out, helps you keep some possessions alive. But yeah, I just feel like, Moses Brown deserves a shot as well. Hukpority too. But yeah, Cameron Payne is another guy who's going on a dry spell. Just like Susan says here, campaign definitely, going through some lumps. He plays at a good speed, but I guess in terms of productivity, it's one of the reasons why our bench has struggled, recently. He does seem a bit trigger shy right now. What do you guys think? Before it was like too extreme one way, where he would pull up from 3, transition, heat check. Now it's kind of like I'm seeing Cameron Payne pass up open looks. Maybe the pressure is getting to him a little bit. Maybe he's starting to hear some of the noise where his spot could be, in jeopardy. But I did see Payne pass up some open looks, fam. He got 2 assists. was +9. So he was in the positive in 11 minutes. But yeah, if you're coming off our bench, you need to be giving us more than 0 of 1, a donut, 2 assists in 11 minutes. So yeah, like Susan says, that is another dry spell. But yeah, another reason why Leon needs to get to work, whether it's another guy like a Colin Sexton come on off our bench, Malcolm Brogdon. There's a lot of guys, salaries are one hurdle to overcome. But, there's some guys out there that can come in and give us a bucket. Yeah, I wouldn't say no to TJ McConnell, to be fair, fam. If a guy like, I know I hate him on the Indiana Pacers, but if he play for you, it's kind of a guy that you would appreciate. At least a player like him, that can come in, unlimited energy, can draw fouls, can get to the rack as well. It'd be a good guy for Kolek to really learn off of as well, and kind of, learn to play like that as well. Yeah, I think Leon will be active. I think there's some glaring weaknesses on the bench with our squad. We've given the starters their flowers tonight, and we know how good they can be. Our starting 5 is good enough to win a championship, in my opinion. If something's going to hold us back, it's the rest of the squad. The rest of the squad need to come in and give these guys their rightful energy, their break. And they need to come in and give these guys a spell, right? I mean, you realize how much energy and how lethal Hart can be if he's playing 25 to 28 minutes. How much that's going to save him for late in the game when he can be a pest and crash the glass. If Cat can be fresh, playing 32 to 34 minutes, and we have a proper backup to come in and, and give him his rest, I think that's going to be key. The same for Brunson and so forth, fam. Michael Drake, CT, is there pressure for this game on Friday? I don't think so. I don't think there's pressure. The way I see it, fam, I think we're playing a team that we're probably going to be underdogs again. But as long as we go out there, we give it our best. And I think if it's another close game, I don't think you should be disheartened as a fan. I know I won't be. I think, we all know Oklahoma, they're probably more deeper than us. I think if our starting 5 can go toe-to-toe again, and hopefully we, put the pressure back on them. I know the crowd is going to be up for it. It's going to be great ratings. It's going to be box office, fam. Buzzer Beater says that's who Cam is. You've been consistent. Got to give you your flowers. I do think Cameron Payne. There was a lot of talk in the off season. Would he be third string? Would he be second string? A lot of people were surprised that he might be second string instead of Kolek. But then he got the first opportunity. But yeah, now we're starting to see why, he was out of the league for a minute. To his credit, he fought his way back into the league, and he got a great opportunity with Philly last season. But he is on a veteran minimum, and he has to shake that tag of being inconsistent. There's got to be a reason why Philly didn't try to bring him back. From what I assume. Yeah, Toppin's been hit or miss, David. I think he's a younger player that's still... Well, he's not that young, actually. He's like 25 now. 24, 25 is Jake Toppin. But I think his level might be, end of the bench, best case scenario. He's definitely got some tools, some athleticism. But, yeah, he has to be dominant in the G League, as they say, to get that next opportunity in limited minutes. David says Huck has been more impactful than Sims in limited minutes. Sims started the last game, so let me bring him back in to the fold. We've got Jericho here. Here he is, fam. Yeah, I've said this before. I'll say it again. In terms of Sims, he was the 58th draft pick, right? And he was, a senior at Texas. I think he played all 4 years at Texas. He was an athlete, came in, he's given us good production for the 58th pick, I think. But it's his 5th year now with the ball club, and I think it's ran its course now. You know, we obviously know what his ceiling is. Not saying he can't improve, not saying he can't get better and be more consistent, but he is what he is at this stage right now for us. I think he might just need a change of scenery. For a guy like Hakporty, he was a different kind of prospect. You know, he was touted as a potential late first round, early second round after coming up the ranks, you know, in international FIBA when he was 16, 15. He was highly touted, suffered an Achilles injury that did hurt his stock, but he was just basically a different level prospect. And you see it. He could put the ball on the floor comfortably. He's a lefty. He can create something. He can pass in the short roll. He's a good rebounder as well. He's a bigger body, and he does have a smaller jump shot as well, something that Jericho Sims does not have right now. And I think what's lost in the situation is that Jericho is 26 years old. Hakporty is 22. So there's a 4-year difference in terms of advancement from Sims in age, and Hakporty, you know, has more offensive game. But as I said about Sims, you know, he's given us good service, I think, in 5 years from the 54th pick. And I do think if he can get us a couple of second rounders, if a team really wants him, and, you know, we could get a rotation player back out of it, I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. Fam, let's restock some of our picks. What's up, Sandman? An okay win, but still lots of mistakes that need to be cleaned up. I think we have a tendency to play down to some opponents. I'm not going to lie. You know, they scrap, they claw. I do think we do play a little casual at times, and it's kind of feeds into our ball movement. You know, we've got to cut down on these turnovers. Good ball movement does lead to high assists, but it also leads to turnovers as well. You know, sometimes these guys want to make the Hollywood pass. You know, I'm looking at Hart, I'm looking at Cat, and sometimes Brunson as well. Look, for the most part, OG and Bridges, they're finishers. They cut well. They usually are the recipient of a Hollywood pass, but they keep it simple. But Cat, Josh Hart, I'm looking at you. You know, usually those guys contribute to 10 turnovers each. You know, Hart's good for 5 turnovers a game. You know, you love him facilitating and playmaking, but he does, you know, leave his feet sometimes as well. And Brunson just gets sloppy. I think Brunson it's fatigue. In the case of Jalen Brunson sometimes as well, too. Just keep it simple at times too. But yeah, like Sandman says, I think the Raptors, some of these teams, it's the motivation level isn't the same, you know. When you got to show up for work, it's just another day. I know these guys get paid millions, but you got to come out and beat a team with 8 wins on the season. You know, you're expected to come out and put your foot down and dominate them, right? And that's where the bench conversation comes in majorly, you know. Your starters really rely on these guys. So let's give these grades. Start with Landry Shamet for the bench, fam. I think, you know, probably his best game as a New York Knick. Very short tenure so far. But you admire, you know, and you see why the Knicks, you know, extended a lifeline for Landry Shamet. You know, he doesn't let his streakiness affect his defense, you know, which is something that we've seen a lot of. You know, Quentin Grimes used to be that guy, Kevin Knox. There used to be guys out there. Matt Ryan, you know, Matt Ryan's on this roster. If he's not hitting shots, what else does he give you? But with Landry Shamet, I think there's a reason why he sticks, you know, with this ball club. You know, he gets after it, finishes, you know, with 4 of 8 from the field tonight, 8 points. He got some reward for his cutting and defense as well. He was active tonight. That's what we need, you know. I think Payne mentioned this on the podcast, fam, on the roommates. You know, it's a different level of role when you're coming off the bench. You know you're only going to play 11 minutes or 12 minutes, 15 minutes. You have to come out like your life depends on it, and play as hard as you possibly can in those minutes, because when the starters are ready to come back in, that's it. You're not gonna get back in the game. So I really feel like Shamet's playing like that. You see him play hard. That's all you can ask for, in my opinion. Now, if we can make an upgrade, then ideally, if we're competing for a championship, a guy that you can improve on and upgrade, I think that's a spot. I think him and Cameron Payne, fam. I think, there's a real possibility Precious Achiuwa just continues in his role. It's tough to make an upgrade on his role based on the assets we have. So I do think a guy like Precious will continue to be that 4-5 man off our bench until Mitch gets right. But yeah, Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet. I think you could look at Kolek, you could look at Dardier as guys. But so far, Shamet is more deserving of his minutes, I think, than Cameron Payne. What do you guys think? Chris Gotti, salute, says, I think Brunson's calf might still be bothering him. I think he is, looking like he's in mud at times. I think he had a pretty solid game. The shots are a little short, though. 7 dimes, solid, 6 rebounds. He was facilitating tonight. Yeah, 5 of 13 and 1 of 4 as well. We need that 3-point shot back. So yeah, you might be right with the car fam as well. Susan, yeah, echo your thoughts. Prayers go out to everybody firstly affected in the tragic fire situation that's going on in California, and anyone that's possibly affected, the family and friends of the Lakers and Clippers out there as well that are being evacuated as well. Such a tough situation to see play out as well. Hopefully, that situation gets under control really soon. Yeah, David, 26. I think, to be fair, that opportunity needs to go to the next hungry lion. If you're 26 and you're still trying to carve out a role, to me that tells you that you're done. You're done. The next guy's coming up. They deserve an opportunity. If you're 26 and you still can't develop a hook or something, I mean, that's what I love about Clyde. He's so unfiltered. He just tells it like it is. He has no stake in the game, really. I mean, his legacy speaks for itself, fam. 2-time champion, finals MVP. He doesn't have he doesn't have to win no one's respect. He can just call it like he sees it. And these guys, they take for granted their opportunity sometimes, and I do think sometimes we are a little generous with their opportunities. And then guys like Huck Porty or Obi Toppin and Tibbs would be so quick with their hook. But there's no doubt coaches have favorites, whether it's something they like in the locker room, players' attitude or demeanor or whatever else, their practice habits. It's got to be something more than just what we're seeing. There's no doubt Tibbs was a favorite of Cameron Payne. Was a favorite of Tibbs. Shamet, he was very complimentary of those guys in the summer. In the off season, as well. So yeah, great night work. Almost a triple double from Hart, Cat and OG with 27 apiece as well. We're shouting you guys out. Salute. Smash that like button. We're going to give these rest of these grades out for our bench. And let's talk around the league tonight. Let's talk about the Oklahoma game coming up, fam, as well. Because, we get that chance to get revenge on Oklahoma without Chet Holmgren. He's still out. When he comes back, they're going to be a different level for everyone around the league as well. Caruso, I think, might be back for the next game too, fam. But yeah, the home cooking continues. Hopefully, the New York Knicks have 15 games this month right now. And so far, we got our first win. We are 1-3 for the new year, fam. I'm hoping to go 9-6 at least for this month. Van Venture says Cat should not have played in the game. Toronto is not a playoff team. I think if medical clears him, he seemed to be fine closing it out. But if, to your point, I really would have loved his minutes to get reduced, especially late in the game. He didn't need to be out there. Buzzer says TJ is the only option I can see. So we see Cat's playmaking to Hart, playmake again, the hockey assist to OG Anunoby, fam. I think, when Mitch gets right, I think that's another level this team can get to. I think Cat minutes should go down if Mitch gets healthy, right? Now, with Precious, it's not a like-for-like swap. Precious is only 6'8", 6'9". Yes, he can come in and give Cat a little break, but the production drops off in terms of rebounding, and obviously he's not the same level of Cat, right? And Mitchell Robinson can at least come in and be that, perimeter defender that we need. The paint protector that we need when Cat sits as well, for a different kind of look. Now, if I really feel like if it's Mitch healthy, great. But I really feel like Leon Rose will address that role. What I mean by that is if Mitch can't, get right, whether he comes back and gets injured again, they will replace that role with Nick Richards or somebody else. They will bring in another center if Mitch can't get right. And I think that's the right move, Ideally, another wing off our bench that's a two-way player, and another 5 that can rebound and protect the rim. And I think we're okay, because I do think Kolek can be that guy to replace Cameron Payne. I think we're okay at the point guard spot, even as a backup. I think Deuce McBride comes in as well. Let's not forget about him, fam. But yeah, with Cameron Payne tonight, his grade, right? I mean, Donut, 11 points, 2 assists, plus 9 for Cam Payne. So let's dial up his grade right now. Salute to the chat. Keep it buzzing. Smash that like button. I'll give Cam Payne a C for tonight, right? C for Cam. But C, it's been inconsistent, right? It's been games piling up now. Let's see if Kolek gets an opportunity. But I do think in usual Tibbs fashion, he gives that veteran a long leash, a longer leash than what they deserve sometimes, We're seeing it with Elfrid Payton. We're seeing it with Nerlens Noel. We're seeing it with Alec Burks. Tibbs does rock with these vets, man, until the wheels fall off sometimes too, man. He gives these rookies tough love. It's tough, I really would love us to operate in a different way. That's the biggest thing I have against Tibbs, He makes some dumbfounding decisions. Look, I really hope we're healthy for the postseason, right? But I will not be surprised if we're dealing with some injuries, because Leon Rose got to get us some extra bodies up in here, or trust some of these guys right now. Now, there's 3 really good cases you can make for Hukpority, Dadier, and Kolek. And what I'll say is they are pro-ready. They're pro-ball. In the case of Hukpority, he came in off an NBL finals team in Australia, playing pro-ball for multiple seasons, right? He's not coming from the collegiate system. He's already been in the pro system for years, His body's ready, and, he needs those minutes. Hakoum Dadier, yes, he's young, but again, he's not just coming out of college like a freshman, man. He played pro ball in Germany, right, against grown men. And he's got good size. He's 6'8", 6'9". And Tyler Kolek, senior in college, man, out of Marquette. It don't get more ready than that. The guy did his service 4 years in college right now. Again, he's not a guy that's just coming in, wet behind the ears. He's ready. So I think that's being ignored right now. And as it becomes crunch time later in the season, it's going to be even harder to blend these guys in. So I really think Tibbs has missed this opportunity early in the season to integrate these guys. Vaughn with the question, do I believe Tibbs can take us to the promised land? I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful, fam. It's going to be a no, man, if I have to make a decision. I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful. I'm a fan. I'm glass half full. But I have my doubts, man. I'm doubtful that Tibbs can be that guy, man. You got to be a really, really, really good coach, and it's not saying Tibbs is all bad. He's not all bad. It's just to be the best, you got to beat the best. You got to be elite. You got to outsmart another smart person. You got to out-tactic another strong coach with tactics. You know, we ain't going up against scrubs. We're going up against 29 other franchises. You know, and some of them are elite. And so, yeah, you know, you want to be the king of the, you know, you want to be top of the mountain. You got to knock somebody off. So, you know, it remains to be seen, you know, but I do think Leon Rose can't avoid, you know, all of the spotlight, because I think he built this roster as well. You know, if you give Tibbs all the tools that he needs, you know, he could be that guy. He could be the guy, Vaughn, to get us there. You know, he's had success. He's got us to the second round twice. Dare I say, if the Knicks didn't suffer those injuries last season, we would have been in the third round. But then you can also make that case where, you know, we didn't get to the third round because guys were, you know, guys were knocked around, guys were banged up. You know, one of the reasons why the Knicks players value increases with the Knicks is because their usage increases. You know, Isaiah Hartenstein might not be, you know, he might not be looking at that $80 million contract that he got with Oklahoma if we didn't, you know, if Mitch didn't go down and you know, Isaiah, you know, take on a huge role, take on a huge load for us, you know. Tibbs played Isaiah whenever he was hurt, when he was banged up. He still threw him out there. Doug Fresh, salute. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let us know what you think. Oklahoma, man. I want your predictions, fam, now. Now, we're missing one more grade, Precious. Let's do that now, Precious Achua. And then we're going to talk about the league now. I watched some of the Oklahoma-Cleveland game, man. I had the split screen tonight. Buzzer, and Vaughn says he's with me and Buzzer. Yep. On the Tibbs situation. Precious, 3 of 5 tonight. Gave us 4 rebounds, 6 points, a block as well, and an assist. Good game from Precious Achua. Much, much better than the last game, fam. Much, much better than the last game. So I'm trying to bring up more highlights as they drop them, fam. But let's talk about Precious's game. Yeah, he was active. Gave us a nice block. He was definitely more consistent than he was the Orlando game. I think he was one of the more disappointing players from that Orlando game, fam. Not to single him out, but, you know, it is a situation where, you know, if you want more out of your bench, you know, you're relying on players that have kind of been on their second or third or fourth teams, and, you know, the writing might be on the wall in terms of, you know, they might not be around for that championship. So, you know, their role is still questionable with this team. So you want to see consistency from these guys. But we're lucky to have Precious because, you know, he is a guy that's, you know, he feels the need. He feels that role right now until we get someone better. I'm going to give Precious a B for tonight, fam. He's from the area, and Precious Achua does give you good energy when he's going, but he, in terms of offensively, he does have those limitations. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I think there's 3 key players to watch in terms of the Knicks and the trade activity, fam. In no particular order, you know, it's anyone's guess what Leon does. But if I'm looking at 3 guys to keep an eye out on that might get moved, and I say might, I think Jericho Sims is somebody we've spoken of, and And obviously there's been concrete reporting from Ian Begley, SNY, on this one, on his latest show, as they talked about. The Knicks are picking up the phone to hear teams out expressing interest on Jericho. And the other two guys are Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson. You know, I think if the Knicks are going to make a move, I think that is a situation to look out for. You know, just in terms of salary, their role on the team right now, and just the question marks that remain, I think. Cameron Payne, I mean, he might be a throw-in in a trade. I won't be surprised, but, you know, what are you really going to get back from a Cameron Payne? You know, I think he's more than likely safe. I think he's more than likely, you know, a guy that you can rely on in the playoffs. You know, bare minimum, he can give you 10 minutes as a veteran, can handle the offense a little, not get shaky with the basketball, you know. Until we see more from Tyler Kolek, I don't think they will be gung-ho about, you know, giving up campaign. I think he's safe, in my opinion. Shamet, I think he's safe as well. I think it's building around them, building around the margins. Yeah, Deuce McBride should be safe as well. 100%, fam. So, yeah, Precious gets the B. Just to recap, our bench better tonight in the win, inferior opponent. But, hey, we really miss Deuce McBride. As I said, he's day-to-day. But I do think he will probably make his return in the next game on Friday against Oklahoma, fam. And I know some people are a little concerned, but trust me, you don't want to be risky with a, you don't want to be, you know, too risky with basically him returning too soon with the hamstrings, because they do linger. You know, hamstrings are tricky. But yeah, I'll be really happy if we get Deuce back in the next one. And our starters tonight, your players of the game, OG Anunoby for me, Karl Anthony Towns, A+ performance, along with Josh Hart. And I've given out 2 game balls. Great to see OG bounce back offensively. The mid-range was money, and the 3-point ball was money as well. Maybe it just was fatigue and the legs, I think, in the last game. And look, obviously Cat, man, what can I say, man? He deserves MVP accolades for us, this team. I think he's our most irreplaceable player, fam. He's a one-on-one dominant mismatch. His size, his strength, as well as his shooting is just irreplaceable for us right now. I mean, he's the difference maker, you know? Brunson can keep us afloat. He's that great. He's that, you know, talented, you know, where he needs to go for 40 or 50 to get us a big win over a good team. But with Cat, it's a different level, you know. Cat can just give us a 30 game with 18 rebounds, you know, and we can beat a good team. So yeah, I want to see these guys show out against Oklahoma, fam. And speaking of Oklahoma now, as I switch over, we talk about it, fam. We had the big game between the Cavs and the Thunder, and it was good. I was watching until the final minutes. Cleveland pulled ahead late in the final 2 minutes. But yeah, Oklahoma were ahead in the fourth quarter. Back and forth. Cavs got some home whistle. Donovan Mitchell, obviously isolation, elite, pull-up game. You know, they are a threat, Cleveland. You know, their players are a strong team. Their bench is stepping up as well. That's something where they've probably got the edge on us in terms of the bench. I think our starting 5 is better than Cleveland's, but I think their bench, they're getting a bit more production out of them. So that was a big win. Good to see the Bulls, you know. Pacers handled them strong. And obviously Kobe White, man, he regressed back to the normal version of Kobe White, you know, before he was a Knick killer. The Knicks get the win over the division rival, and we win the season series now. We have the season series over the Magic and the Raptors, and obviously the Brooklyn Nets, and Philadelphia. Right. Indiana is 1-1, I think, in the season series, fam. But excuse me. In terms of Detroit, I want to mention Detroit, fam, because we're going to see them 2 games after the Oklahoma game. We've got Milwaukee and then Detroit. Detroit's making some moves now, man. Now, just going to refresh the standings. Now, Detroit, man, for the first time in a long time, salute to them. They're above 500, man. 8th seed now, ahead of the Hawks. Let that sink in. And the Bulls, right, take a loss. Right, battling it out for that 10th spot. I think it will be between the Bulls and the Sixers or the Hawks for that final 10th spot. I think Pistons will get a healthy play-in spot, if not a playoff spot, fam. I think the Heat will sell Jimmy Butler and, yeah, they might drop. And the Pacers, they're going to toil around the 5-6 seed, fam. The Magic, they got Paolo Banchero set to make his return, fam. So that's going to be fascinating to see them. They've been solid with them out, and I think they're going to turn on the Jets when he gets back as well. So the Knicks better keep winning, fam. We want that 3rd seed, no less than that, fam. 4th seed is going to be tricky in terms of the matchups. D. Grant says, so if the Knicks don't get to the finals this year, do you believe Tibbs' job will be in trouble? I think there will be some internal thought behind replacement if the Knicks don't get beyond the 2nd round, fam. I still think that Leon Rose has extreme loyalty, and I think they've reported there's been, extreme loyalty from Leon to Tibbs. I think it's going to be a case of how do the Knicks look? Are they fully healthy? Do we lose to an inferior opponent? What's the ceiling going to look like? In terms of like Leon Rose knows this probably ain't the finished roster yet with the bench depth. Maybe they give him another summer and another transaction cycle to build on the depth. But yeah, I think there's a real case that Tibbs could get replaced if the playoffs look ugly, if the playoffs don't go well, if the Knicks, crash out in the 1st round. So yeah, he'll have to get to the finals, I think, to be 100% safe. If we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, he'll probably have done enough to keep his job. But yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. Doug Fresh says a lot of these teams going to get tired. Believe that to stay up. Big teams, no one is great. I think, yeah, any team is an injury away from really, going through it, fam. I think, Orlando, it don't mean they're just going to turn on the Jets and go on a huge run. They might need to figure out their chemistry, Guys have been balling out for them. Paolo gets back. The other guys have to take a step back willingly and figure out their chemistry. But yeah, I feel confident against the Bucks. I feel confident against the Pacers. I feel like Leon Rose is going to add a piece or two. Our bench is going to look better. And I think our starters, as long as they're more fresh, I think we'll be in good position, fam. I think we'll be in a good way to tackle the 1st, 2nd round and get to the 3rd round healthy. If we have to face a really tough opponent in the 1st round and our players aren't healthy or they're not rested, we're going to be up against it, That's where the starting 5 is really going to have to, fight through it, and show their fortitude right now. Now, to their credit, what I've seen fight from this team. I've seen fight from players that have a questionable label on them coming into this season. I think Cat is one of them. He's shown me, especially tonight, many games, he's, not been 100%, and you wouldn't feel it from his body language, He likes those rebounds. He likes to mix it up and get gritty. He rebounds, the best rebounder in the NBA, which, without Mitch, he's stepping in and giving us that great production with the rebounding. If we just had a really capable backup center to ease him out there, that could give us some more minutes, I think would be great. You could play Precious at the 4, and you could bring in another guy, which I really feel like Huck Pority should be getting an opportunity. He sets good screens as well. He's more dynamic offensively too, fam. But yeah, Oklahoma coming up Friday. I can't wait, fam. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, keep an eye out on Indiana, Michael Drake, Obi Toppin could be a name that gets moved. Benedict Mathurin. They've got Nemhard, Neesmith. They've got a lot of crowded rotation. They've got Johnny Furphy, the rookie, as well. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of addition by subtraction with some of these teams. Yeah, Vaughn, Cat looking gimpy. I think Cat's that kind of guy that does act up a little bit. He plays it up. As in, like, not saying he's not feeling it or not hurt, but I really feel like he can, you'll know when he's really not good, he'll pull himself off. I think as long as he can, get out there and battle, he will, fam. He's built tough. Buzzer says Sims, Chewy, and Cam are on expiring contracts. I think Leon Rose will make a trade. Sims, I feel like it. Yeah, agree. Chewy, possibly. He's definitely on the no trade clause. Waived the no trade clause, and Cameron Payne is on an expiring as well, fam. As well, 10-day contracts are going to come in soon as well. Why hasn't TJ Warren been called up yet, fam? It's because for us, I can't speak around the league. I feel like he should have been called up by some other teams. But for us specifically, it's just simply finances. He can't fit as an NBA veteran of however many years service. There's a minimum salary that teams have to pay him, which is closer to $2.5–3 million. Because he's a 10-year veteran, I think. So the Knicks can't afford him right now, but they will be able to on the 1st of March. So that's the key date, fam. So maybe there's a mutual agreement between the two, and I hope there is, that he holds out and we bring him in. But truth is, any team can come in and swoop. If Boston want to come in and they can sign him, they can. They can steal him from our grasp, fam. So basically, the Knicks decided to prioritize Landry Shamet. Obviously, he's a younger body. They like what they saw defensively as well. But I do think we're missing some offense, that you get from a guy like a TJ Warren, fam. Yeah, 100%. I agree, Michael. Leon Rose will make an impact level trade. We're dealing with limited resources, but I feel like he'll find a way. Precious, Mitch, salary. It could be a buyout guy. Sims could get us some picks. Yeah, Cat's on his Pat Ewing, fam. Definitely. No doubt about it, Vaughn. Look, I'm not sleeping on Mitch. Mitch is a guy that, he'll have a few months to get right before the playoffs, assuming rehab continues from what we hear. And obviously it's a waiting game. It's still frustrating. But yeah, it is going to get to the point where he's going to get a chance, And look, if he was completely ruled out, there wouldn't be that talk about him. So yeah, I think Mitch is a guy that's going to come in and hopefully give us some solid minutes come February time as well. If not, yeah, he'll be, there's a lot of teams also discussing, his availability too. Not saying we want to, get rid of him, nothing like that, but there is teams expressing interest in a guy like a Mitchell Robinson. So we have to watch and wait and see what Leon's going to do, fam. But look, as long as we keep stacking up these dubs, that's the most important thing. And the Knicks can get their biggest statement win of the season. It's going to be the biggest statement win if we beat Oklahoma. It'd be their second loss in a row as well, fam. So we can definitely, cause a glitch in their matrix when it comes to Friday night Knicks and Oklahoma coming to town. Isaiah Hartenstein, his first trip to MSG, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. I really feel like we we pull out the win. What the heck? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say the New York Knicks get the win on Friday night. A gritty win by 4 points, right? Late. It might even be an overtime type of game, but I think the Knicks have got revenge on their mind. Johnny, Michael Drake, Doug Fresh, buzzer beater. Let's get it, guys. Salute to everyone. Vaughn Allen, Michael Drake, everyone in the building. Salute, guys. Appreciate you, D. Grant. Let's get it on Friday night. Peace, everyone.